Most of us can't fully imagine what it would be like when the whole ocean ecosystem starts collapsing.
If our fish populations collapse, if we lose the biodiversity, people will starve.
We currently know more about the moon than our oceans. And with 80% of our oceans unexplored, they're generally viewed as an endless resource that we can't impact.
They're our biggest carbon sink. We depend on them for food, for transportation, communication, oxygen. And if we don't stop the degradation, it's going to have a really deleterious effect on our health, the planet's health, and our economy.
To fully monitor it, to fully understand it, you have to be collecting data. It's the only way you really are going to get that information back.
To observe and better understand the oceans, Julie and Colin have built solar-powered autonomous boats with advanced sensors and AI.
We're making it easier, safer, more affordable for ocean industries to operate out there. To protect our oceans from harmful practices like illegal fishing, we have to have better technology than we do right now. And autonomous technology really is our best bet at that.
This is a show about founders challenging the status quo.
When you first decided that you guys were going to make autonomous boats, did you have any idea what you were really getting yourself into?
I don't think I ever do when I come up with some crazy idea, or same with Julie.
I've been in love with the ocean for a long time. I spent many years just exploring it. I rowed across the Atlantic Ocean with Colin. We spent 5 months alone in a rowboat on the open ocean.
We've done over 40,000 kilometers, which is about 30,000 miles. So we have this very intimate knowledge of the ocean, which I feel is lacking in this industry.
Spending day after day continuously surrounded by ocean, you really feel like you're living in a different world, and you become very aware of the ocean in all its states, the animals within it, and that's definitely had a lasting impact. Open Ocean Robotics was a continuation of exploring the ocean. This time, instead of us going out there, we're sending autonomous boats. Our goal is really to enable industries to operate sustainably on it, to help us see our oceans, because what we can't measure, we can't protect. What we can't see, we can't change. If we don't understand the impacts that we're having on our ocean, we'll never change our behavior because we won't know that we're making a difference.
The conventional industry that's carrying out the tasks that we are doing is crewed ships and crewed vessels.
You know, ships are diesel burning. There's always a risk of oil spills. They're loud as well. And that means that you can't really collect data persistently and in challenging areas and with a minimal amount of environmental impact.
Now, if you're near shore, it's not a huge burden, both from a resource standpoint and from a crew standpoint. But it's when you go offshore that it really becomes complex and expensive, and huge amounts of greenhouse gas emissions being emitted.
Conventional vessels cost anywhere from $10,000 to $80,000 a day to operate offshore. And removing one offshore vessel for a week is like reducing the emissions of 100 cars for a year.
Our replacement is suddenly going from a big ship full of people to a little 250-pound vessel that can go out there into the biggest oceans, into the nastiest storms. Hard to believe, but they will. And they can do the same job that these big boats are doing.
In areas you couldn't go with a ship for weeks or months at a time.
Top of the vessel, we've got the solar panels. It's an energy harvesting boat, so pretty much all the energy to operate the vessel is coming from the sun.
We have oceanographic sensors, things to measure water temperature, salinity, chlorophyll A, turbidity, fish population, so an echo sound, measuring ocean currents or mapping the seafloor.
There's a speaker that goes in there. There's also a microphone. And then through our electronic system, it's just like making a phone call. You can call the boat and talk to people in the area. It's very loud, so they will hear it. Very good for enforcement situations. Please move away from the whales, or you're in a restricted area. We had to create a boat that was really efficient. You know, a design that's going to be able to be moved through the water with very little energy. The boats cannot sink. They're fully sealed. If you look at a stormy situation, the boat's just going to tumble off the waves, falling end over end. And then the self-righting. It's a combination of buoyancy, so that big red roll bar you see in the back, so it helps bring it right side up. And then center of gravity, which is the weight in the bottom in the way of the batteries. That's basically how our boats work.
We've been through lots of ups and downs, previous businesses, hurricanes, adventures, so we know how to ride those waves and how to work well together. And I think that's very helpful in growing a business. You're gonna have struggles and 80-hour weeks and things not go right, but there's also successes and great achievements and making impact.
We understand the consequences of it and just how devastating or how wonderful it is. So being able to celebrate those moments together, and I think that's a big part of our strength.
Right now we're a data service provider, so our clients say, we have this challenge, we need this data, and we go out and send the autonomous boats to collect the data. We've done illegal fishing enforcement, environmental monitoring, marine mammal monitoring, and other types of security applications.
Because most illegal fishing happens in remote areas of the ocean, enforcement is nearly impossible.
30% of fish is caught illegally, something like a $23 billion problem. One of the challenges with illegal fishing is that it uses harmful fishing practices. So things like trawling, which disrupts the seafloor and releases huge amounts of greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, trawling is thought to release as much as the entire airline industry. So by having something that can go out in these challenging, remote regions and just stay there and monitor the ocean, it's a step towards combating those very thorny issues.
Falling off and almost no play.
It's going to take more than just Open Ocean Robotics crafts to fully explore the oceans. They are just one of many companies that are invested in resolving this global problem.
I think autonomous technology is going to really lead to a shift in the way that we understand our oceans, from seafloor to surface across millions of miles, and that will be transformative. Operating on the ocean, it's not predictable. It's vast, there's limited communication, it's extremely harsh, it's difficult to retrieve anything. The road that we're on is moving towards changing the perception of how you get data, and that this is just as good or even a better solution than how things are done now. If our oceans stop absorbing the same amount of carbon dioxide they have, we're going to see an acceleration in climate change. So no matter where you are, it's our duty as a species to protect them so that we can continue to benefit from them in the way that we do, and then they can stay healthy for our children and our children's children.